You don't run from patience.
You might get knocked out a few times, okay? Because I just got knocked out the other day by a patient. So today's video is going to be about how to become a nurse. All the steps you need to know to become a nurse. Nursing isn't for the weak. So if you're watching this video and you think I'm just going to tell you, oh yeah, nursing is so fabulous, I wear my scrubs, I have on my Superwoman cape, and I'm going to save the world today. It does not work like that. First of all, the process of getting into nursing school could be rigorous and it might take some time to get in. It just all depends on like your grades, how motivated you are. So the first step, high school people. So I have some high schoolers who are asking me, is there anything that I can do in order to get a head start so that I can look good when I apply to nursing school or to college? Say focus on your GPA. Also, there are some high schools that do offer like medical terminology and also anatomy and physiology. So if you can take either of those two classes, then you're on the right track. Step number 2 is determining whether or not you want to do an ADN degree or a BSN degree. An ADN can take from 2 to 3 years. It all depends on how fast your program is and how soon, like how many classes you take a semester. So if you're one who doesn't want to work and you have it like that to where someone else can like provide for you and you can go ahead and just finish nursing school, I would say do that. Another difference between the ADN and BSN is that with the BSN, obviously you get paid more money. You're also more competitive in the marketplace. I would suggest doing the BSN only because they're starting to phase out with the ADNs. So you go today to try to get your ADN. In a few years, they might not even be hiring ADNs into hospitals. There's only a few companies that will hire ADNs. I would say do a BSN just to be safe. Also, in a few years after that, they might say, oh, well, everyone needs their MSN. So you know how they are. In order to make money, they have to do things like this, okay? If you're looking to move up at all in the clinical ladder, you should probably get your BSN. With that being the case, say you wanted to be a charge nurse, a nurse manager, work in education, anything like that, then you definitely need to get your BSN in order to have one of those roles. Okay, now that you have decided what degree you want, next you get accepted into the school. Okay, you do your prereqs and then you apply to get into the nursing program. But there are some schools that have the direct admin programs where you automatically go into the nursing program once you're done with your prereqs, so you don't have to apply for it all over again. And with this direct admin program, it solidifies you to start your sophomore year. So you'll start taking some of your nursing classes in your sophomore year of college. The more traditional ways to start college, take your prereqs. So that ranges from like maybe 2 years if you're going for your BSN and maybe a year and a half or 2 if you're going for your ADN. So you'll take your prereqs. The prereqs can somewhat differ between universities or colleges. I would say if you're going to a school to take your prereqs, I suggest going to that same school for your nursing program because some classes won't transfer to another university because one school might say, oh, well, you need medical terminology in order to get into the nursing program, where the other ones, you don't need it. Just be mindful of that when applying to schools. So what if I don't get in? Well, just go ahead and pick a minor. Let's say you apply to the program, they denied your application. Well, you apply for the minor. It not only looks good on your resume or like when you're turning in everything to apply for the nursing program again, it just makes you just stand out. They're like, she's driven, she has goals, she's determined to do this, like she really wants this. So it really looks good. If you don't get accepted the first time, don't get discouraged because you can do this. Like, we can do this. I'm not going to say it's not hard. It's definitely hard to get into nursing school, and it's definitely even harder to stay in nursing school. So once you work to get in there, please do not stop and think it's just going to be a breeze through, because I'm telling you now, it's not for the weak, okay? So let's get into when you're actually in nursing school. You graduated high school, you decided what route you want to do, the ADN versus BSN. you've gotten accepted into your program. So now that you're in your program, what do we do? The first year to the year and a half, you will be taking nothing but lecture and lab. No clinical. Sorry to tell you, you have to do the book work before you go to clinical, okay? You have to know what you're doing before you go to clinical. On the other hand, it can be completely different. I'm not going to say every program does that, but the traditional way, most programs make you take lecture and lab from like a year and a half, and then once you get past that part is when they start incorporating clinical into your curriculum. For me, it was very different because I went through an accelerated nursing program, which took me 12 months to finish a BSN program. If you guys want to know more about how to get into the accelerated nursing program, just comment below, or you can inbox me. My email will be in the description box, and I will make another video on that. So while you're going through nursing school and going through the lectures and clinical, you will go through a series of exams that are called ATI or HESI. So this is where it starts to get juicy, okay? This is where it gets serious. So you take ATI and HESI, and they could be a pain in the butt. Once you get to that point, remember what I'm saying. It's going to help you. Practice questions, practice questions.
Practice questions, 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 practice questions.
All you want to do is practice questions. It's basically helping you prepare yourself for the most important thing that you need to do in order to become a nurse, okay? In order to become a nurse, you must, I cannot stress, you must pass the NCLEX. So you need to pass it in order to become a nurse, okay? Not everybody passed in 75 questions. I passed in 76. Or whether or not you pass in 75, you pass in 265, it doesn't matter. You got your license, you're a nurse, you did the thing, okay? You did it. You're there, you're gonna do awesome. Go buy your scrub. So the NCLEX is a licensure exam. It basically certifies you to practice as a nurse. Without this, you cannot practice. Not a certified nurse. A nurse that can practice and actually put in IVs, put in Foley catheters, put an NG tube down. You cannot do these things unless you pass your NCLEX. You guys get it now, okay? I'm going to not stress that enough. You have to pass your NCLEX. Alright, I'm done. So if you want to know how I studied for the NCLEX, I will do another video for you guys on how I prepared for the NCLEX and passed it on the first try with 76 questions. Before you take your NCLEX, you need to know kind of what you're wanting to do in the future, okay? So what I mean by that is, if you know that you want to do travel nursing in the future, I will suggest that you go ahead when applying for your license to apply for a multi-state license. Usually when you take the NCLEX, or you apply for your license, once you pass the NCLEX, you will just only be able to practice in your state. So let's say I took mine in Massachusetts, where I am now. I will take my test, apply for my license, and I will only be able to practice as a nurse in Massachusetts. So if you get the multi-state license, you can not only practice in Massachusetts where you took your exam at, but you can also practice across state lines. Some states take compact licenses and some don't. So there's a list of like, I want to say 20 something states that actually accept compact licenses. So make sure you check that out to know exactly where you're going to go. But if you are a travel nurse and you need to get more licenses, I can make another video about that as well, because there's so many more videos I can do. Nursing is just the bomb. You can go into like different specialties like peds, med-surg, OBGYN, the OR. You can go back to school and get your master's, and you can be a nurse practitioner, or you can be a clinical instructor. There's always opportunity out there. There's always jobs. You cannot go wrong with going into nursing. this is something else I cannot stress. So before applying for your license, guys, do not think that you have to just sit around waiting for you to take the board exam, not doing anything. So you actually can work as a temporary nurse without a license. So technically you can apply for a temporary license. Say you apply for a job, you want to go into PICU, like the pediatric ICU at UAB in Birmingham. They usually will let you work for at least 3 months without your actual certified license. You have a temporary license. So don't think you can just sit around, guys, and not actually take your exam, because once that temporary license lapse, that's it, girl or boy. I'm sorry. So if you're watching this video and you're a dude, more power to you, because we need more males as nurses, okay? So apply for the job before you even take your NCLEX, because you can work. But the thing is, if you do not pass your NCLEX on the first try, some jobs will give you another chance to take it, and you have to take it within like a certain time. But most of the time they will kind of demote you. I don't even know if I want to use that word. They would just basically, you won't be a nurse anymore. They'll let you work as a CNA until you pass, but they'll only give you like maybe 2 chances to pass it. So that's an option. And then some jobs, they don't do that. Like if you fail the first time, they'll just say, okay, well, how about you just reapply after you pass your exam. I think that wraps this video up. There's a few steps. I know I was all over the place a little bit, but I am serious, guys. Nursing is a great field to get into. It's not all rainbows and butterflies everybody make it out to be, because I'm telling you, you have your days. You might be running, I'm just kidding, you don't run from patients, but you might get knocked out a few times, okay? Because I just got knocked out the other day by a patient, but I ain't gonna tell nobody. On a serious note, if you want to go to nursing school, this video is for you. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, guys. And also don't forget to hit that bell, because it will notify you whenever I post a new video. Also, go follow me on my Instagram at Sam Marie. And if you haven't watched my video about getting tested for COVID-19, it will be somewhere up here or over here. So yeah, go watch that video, and it shows you how the process goes. It doesn't always have to be painful to get a COVID test, okay? So I think that's it for this video. I'm done talking. If you guys want to see more of me, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Peace.